Welcome back to the channel. So the video you're about to see I actually shot last week. This was the last rust repair that I wanted to get done before I reassembled the front suspension of the Datsun. The last video you guys saw the coilover setup. Here's the car sitting on its wheels right now. The rust repair that I did is for the idler arm of the steering. On the other side by the wheel, it was actually starting to rust out on the sheet metal on the outside. So anyway, I'm going to cut to that footage, and that was the last rust repair I wanted to do before I put the suspension back together. If you're enjoying the Datsun content, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stick around, we've got plenty more to come on this thing. Picking back up on the Datsun here, there is one area of rust that I want to fix before I do anything else with reassembling the suspension, and that is this area right here. This is where the steering idler arm mounts, right here. What I'm gonna do is take out this bolt, cut this pinch weld a little bit on either side, and I'm gonna make a plate with 2 holes here, and I'll trim this out. Punch a hole here, re-weld in this plate, and weld in a new lip here, just so that when I put this back together, it'll all be reinforced and tied together. Because right now, the only bolt that's really doing much is right here. There is a sleeve in the middle of this frame rail. I don't think you guys will be able to see in there, but I do want to replace all this with fresh metal. There's a nut on the other side. What side is that? All right, lucky guess, 17 on both sides. All right, so the inside section of that frame rail on the engine bay side is actually fine. So this in here is slightly compromised, but I think I can cut this out and weld something back in its place. So yeah, doesn't look too bad. This sleeve right here is a little bit rotted. You can see that it was just covered up by a piece of sheet metal that I bent out of the way. So I'm gonna get this trimmed out of here with the death wheel, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I'll get this trimmed out of here with the death wheel. I'll come in here, I'll cut this bottom piece off as well. Maybe cut it back here and right up here. Put a new piece in there, and then do the same thing right here. All right, I'll be the first to say that that doesn't look too good in there, but looks like there is actually plenty of metal thickness here. So I'm gonna clean this up the best I can and shoot some rust preventative in there. Maybe suck that out with the shop vac, and then get to making this patch. Okay, so I just treated this with it's basically a phosphoric acid treatment that is going to turn all that iron phosphate, or sorry, iron oxide, the rust, into iron phosphate, which is a stable paintable surface. So while works its magic in there. I'm going to get to making a patch piece for this, as well as a patch piece for right here. Alright, so you guys have seen this before, same as last time. I just found this piece of scrap under the bench. Looks like it's going to be almost perfect for what we're doing. So I'm going to roughly trace out the outside here. And then I'll put in our holes. And then I think if you look at this plate, if we want to make this, we will have to complete that across the bottom. So we're going to make a guess that these are going to connect just like that. So I know that looks likely terrible, but a little bit of cutting, 2 holes, and then a little bit of trimming, and we should be ready to test fit it on the car. Okay, so I've got all of the surfaces, got all of the surfaces around the areas that I'm gonna weld all cleaned up. Probably can't see that very well. This is the plate that's gonna go in there. And then I needed to add just a little sliver to the bottom to kind of fill this in. And then I have a piece somewhere to bridge this gap right here. So what I'm gonna do now is shoot this all with some weld through primer. It has that phosphoric acid stuff on it right now. I think I'll just dab up whatever's left of that, and it looks like it's already dry. It's done its reacting in there. So I'm gonna hose this with weld through primer. Maybe try not to get that all over the camera lens, huh? That'd be a good idea, dumbass. Okay, so you get the point. I'm gonna hose this with weld through primer. That stuff dries really fast, so we'll let that set up. And actually, I'm going to coat the back side of this plate with weld through. And I think I'll coat the back side of this little sliver as well. So it's not the greatest, it's not going to seal it the best, but that's way better than nothing. It is going to slow down any further rust inside here. And this whole car is basically like, you know, get it as good as you can and never think about it again. So once that stuff is dry, we will get this stuff in place and get to tacking. Okay, so here we are. Sorry about the shadows, man. Lighting is a challenge. Okay, so there we are. New patch piece, all welded in. I don't think I'm gonna do too much more than that. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell, if you can see, but this does stick out just a little bit farther. So I am just gonna flap wheel this down until it matches the same width as this. Even though I'm sure that that is largely unnecessary, I'm gonna do that. And then this whole thing is gonna get primer and black paint and undercoating and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that piece is now reinforced and nice and strong so that the idler arm will not fall out. I'll pick back up after I've got this all dressed up. All right, there you have it. Here's what it was. There's what it is now. So, whatever. It looks good enough. It'll be strong. The underside isn't that pretty, but I don't really care. I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, there's a little bit of a mismatch right here. That's fine with me. Yep, I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. So, this was one of the problem areas on the side of the car here that I was a little bit worried about. Now it's fixed. I'm gonna hit everything with another coat of primer, and we're moving on. That's gonna do it for the Datsun this week. Still a lot more rust repair to do on this thing. I do plan on finishing the transmission tunnel. The next video, I think what we're gonna do is work on the patch for the lower front fenders. After that, hopefully we'll get an engine gasket kit for the KA, and I'll shoot a video on going through the KA to make sure that it's ready to go to drop in the car. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I really appreciate all the support so far. We'll see you in the next one.